Harare, Zimbabwe. Robert Mugabe, 93, who ruled Zimbabwe with an iron grip until the military placed him under house arrest last week, stunned the nation on Sunday night with a speech in which he refused to say whether he would resign. Many political observers and fellow Zimbabweans had been expecting Mr. Mugabe to step down as president after nearly 40 years in power. But sitting at a table while flanked by members of the military and other officials including a priest, the embattled president spoke for 20 minutes and acknowledged problems in the nation. He also referred to himself as president and commander-in-chief and declared that he would preside over his party's Congress, scheduled to take place in a few weeks. "I will preside over its processes, which must not be prepossessed by any acts calculated to undermine it or to compromise the outcomes in the eyes of the public," he said. But observers questioned how he could oversee the conference if he was no longer leader of the party. The address came hours after he was expelled as leader of his governing party, ZANU-PF, which gave him until noon on Monday to resign or face impeachment by Parliament. Party officials earlier on Sunday removed his wife, Grace Mugabe, who was widely viewed as his likely successor as head of the ZANU-PF Women's League, and barred her from the party for life. ZANU-PF also appointed Emmerson Mnangagwa, the vice president previously fired by the president, as Mr. Mugabe's successor to lead the party. The harsh rebuke by the party's Central Committee came after emergency talks to address the political crisis. Under the constitution, Mr. Mugabe remains president despite the party's expulsion. Announcing the decision on Sunday, Patrick Chinamasa, the party's secretary for legal affairs, said that Mr. Mugabe hereby is recalled as first secretary and president of the ZANU-PF party. He is therefore asked to resign forthwith, Mr. Chinamasa said. Cheers and dancing broke out in the building after the decision to expel Mr. Mugabe as party leader. "There is a case at the end," a group of youths chanted after storming an open space outside the ZANU-PF headquarters. Many Western news outlets had alerted the world to a pending resignation, citing confidential sources. But it was not to be, at least in the speech on Sunday night. Mr. Mugabe made the rambling, halting televised address to the southern African nation about 9 p.m. local time after intense negotiations at the State House with the country's army generals about the conditions of what was expected to be his departure. Among the men sitting off to the side was Constantino Chiwenga, the very army commander who had placed him under house arrest. Mr. Mugabe spoke for a little more than 18 minutes, sometimes repeating phrases and appearing to lose his place among the pages before him. On Saturday, thousands of Zimbabweans had taken to the streets to celebrate Mr. Mugabe's seeming fall from power after the military seized control, but was careful not to call it a coup. The autocratic ruler's apparent downfall began with the military takeover on Wednesday.